Alright, this is the detail strip of the slide for the Advantage Arms 1911. This is the standard model. I don't know about the other ones that have the partially attached slide, but this is the standard. Make sure it's empty, and lock the slide back. This is just for the regular disassembly, but in order to detail strip the slide, you have to remove it, of course. Loosen this, and push out the slide stop. And then it just comes off. Alright, we'll clean this later. It had some issues with the firing pin. It's spring loaded right here, as you can see. It's been the last I've put about 450, maybe 500 rounds through it, and it's been staying forward like this, so it causes malfunctions, failure to fire that doesn't strike the firing pin. So I don't know what the problem is, if it's just gummed up or if it's broken. But in order to take it apart, we need to remove the extractor pin first, which is this pin here. And it comes out from top to bottom. Here's the hole for it, and it's a 3/32 roll pin. So that's the first thing that comes out. And I'm going to need some sort of bench block. How about this? So many uses. Actually, let me see here. Better remove the barrel first. Get the pressure off that block. So I'll continue unscrewing this mainspring guide. Remove the spring and the spacer and maybe the barrel. Maybe the barrel doesn't come out that way. Oh, let's see. It comes out the bottom. So that's how you get the barrel out. Now we can take the ejector out. Where did my punch go? I hold my thumb over the side of it. Goes. Now the roll pin is holding the, there it goes, I can feel the spring pressure on the side. And you can see, maybe you can see the extractor spring in there. A little hole for it. That's the extractor. It's too big. Let me get a smaller punch and get that out of there. Okay. Probably can just, there we go. Don't lose it. Extractor spring, and the pin. Okay, now you remove this Torx screw, and it's Loctited in with red Loctite. So I am going to heat it up a little bit with the propane torch, hopefully without cooking the aluminum. Probably be better to do with soldering iron or something, but I don't have one. So let's try the propane. Let's try that. This is a number 10, as I said. Let's see if I can budge it without stripping it. Is this hot? Pretty warm. There it goes. Aluminum is a good conductor. This is almost too hot for me to hold. There's the screw. So that's the screw. Now, this whole piece here is the bolt. It's called the bolt. It's this steel insert frame. They said basically just bang it on the something flat and like a top of a table. So I have the edge. I have the dust cover off. I guess it's not really the dust cover. What is that? Don't know what that is called right now. I have that off the edge of this table. And is it moving yet? Okay, so that was about 2 more bangs. And it just came out. So that's the strip slide. I'm not going to take the side off because it's sided in, and this is the bolt. And that is another 3/32 pin that they said would just push out. And it isn't going to, looks like. There it goes. So that was left to right. That's this firing pin retaining pin. Let it expand. So that looks like that retaining pin is like this. Yeah. So similar to Garands and things, there's a little cutout in the firing pin that a pin or something goes through to secure it and also prevents it from going too far forward. And it looks like it's not broken, so that's good. And that's the firing pin spring. So that's it. That's detail stripped. Clean this up and maybe a little bit of oil, just wipe it down, clean out this channel here, and then put it back together. Hopefully you can get it back to 100%. With Remington Golden Bullets, this has been I don't think I've had a single malfunction with that ammo, and we shot pretty much a whole 500 round brick of it. So until I just this morning I started to get misfires, and I thought I was starting to get duds, but I looked at the rounds and there was no hammer strike. I mean, no firing pin strike. So I noticed that the firing pin was sticking forward. So anyway, that's how you do that. Let's clean it up, put it back together. This is just a method I devised for cleaning out the very small firing pin channel. Just wrapped a piece of cotton t-shirt cloth on my punch. 3/32 punch is about the same size as the firing pin hole. So, okay, reassembly. I've got this cleaned out and dry inside, and I just wiped it down with a little bit of oil on the outside so that it will hopefully slide into place a little bit better. Firing pin is clean and has been wiped with a little bit of oil is all. And you basically want the opening to be on the same side as the opening for the pin. You can see that maybe you can see that. You have to push it in far enough so that the opening, that little notch in the, let's see, this is the right, so it should go right to left, right? If this is the right way, it goes. Just make sure it's flush. Firing pin is moving freely. So that's the assembled bolt, or the breech block. And it has these raised areas that fit into these corresponding grooves in the slide. So actually that went back in nice and easy. Oh, it's not in all the way, of course. There we go. And I'm going to get a brass punch, or a nylon, maybe a nylon punch, and just make sure that's baseline bottomed out. When I say punch, I mean drift, of course. And I don't want to bang on the sights, so make sure they're overhanging. That looks like it's fully flush on that end, and it's fully flush on that end. So let's Loctite the screw and put it back in. I think I'm going to use blue Loctite this time, so I don't have to heat it up every time. However, I'm going to take a really close look at it and make sure that it's not backing out after a few rounds, or 100 rounds, and every 100 rounds thereafter for a while, and make sure that screw isn't going anywhere. So I've got some blue on there. Make sure we're not cross-threading. Pretty snug. Alright, went in. Make sure that's wiped off. Alright, now let's do the extractor. Make sure this is still working properly. Yep. So the extractor spring goes back in its receptacle, like that. Extractor goes in, making sure we're lining up the hole, which is like that, and the pin from the bottom. Probably can just tap that in with the handle of a screwdriver. It's going, it looks to be going. Before I get it in all the way, make sure the extractor seems to have a good tension on it. Roll pin punches are good for this. So basically you just tap it until the pin is below flush, and make sure that it's not binding on anything. And that's not done, it's all back together. And then it's just the standard field strip. Reinstall the buffer, whatever this is, thread it back into the barrel block, and assemble as usual. Hope that helps somebody. I'll post an annotation and update you if the blue thread locker holds. If it doesn't, I'll just pull it out and put some red back in. Thanks for watching. Rock on.